Greetings agents, this is the Mediocre Gamer. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you taking the time to watch my content. If you find my videos useful or helpful at all, please consider liking, subscribing, sharing or commenting so that I can grow my channel. I hope that you are doing well today. The topic of today's video is a set of kneepads that have entered the game as part of the April Fool's Day event. You may or may not have seen them. They are a Seska brand set named kneepads by the name of TURMOIL. They actually come with a talent called Bewildered. The talent is thus: when dealing weapon damage to an enemy, 50% of the damage will be dealt to another enemy within 30 meters instead. When there are no enemies nearby, deal damage normally, and this does not apply to armor plates. So basically what this means, if you have two enemies within 30 meters of you and you shoot at one of them, 50% of the damage of each bullet that you are firing goes to each of those enemies. So this is a hindrance to single target DPS, but obviously it does allow you to deal damage to two enemies simultaneously. Now there may be some thoughts about pairing this with negotiators. I've seen quite a bit of commentary of this on social media. The consensus seems to be that it does not work very well with negotiators. But it's up to you. If you want to use it with negotiators, then it's up to you. I mean, it's your game. You play it however you want to play it. But that does seem to be the consensus. So, you know, it does have some potential upsides. It can deal damage to enemies that are in cover. It can also deal damage to enemies that are locked in, you know, who are in a spawn closet, but they haven't actually exited the spawn closet. So they could, you know, there's no line of sight to you, but they may be taking damage. It could it could cause issues if you are getting rushed. So one of the advantages of being able to deal a high amount of single target damage is that you can put rushes down pretty quickly. If you're being rushed, then you may not be able to kill that rusher in time for it to actually reach you. So that is a downside. The other downside is if there's 5 enemies within 30 meters, you don't know which enemy is going to be getting that, you know, that 50% damage, you know, obviously without checking the health bar. So, you know, it is random. That could also be a disadvantage. It does seem that, from what I've read, it does seem that this talent is maybe bugged. It doesn't seem to be applying detox correctly, as in it's actually applying more than what it should do. Yeah, look, there's a whole lot going on with this. It has generated quite a lot of controversy. You know, there's a lot of argument and conversation going on about, you know, what builds it works with and what builds it doesn't work with. But it doesn't actually transfer like status effects or anything like that. It is only actual bullet damage, as the description says. It's weapon damage. So, you know, just as a bit of a experiment, I just slightly modified a hotshot build, a headhunter hotshot build. So I just took a standard one. So 3 pieces of hotshot, these knees, the gift backpack, and chain killer, and a marksman's rifle with determined. And you know, I'm not very good at landing headshots. You know, the first one I can land okay because there's no pressure and the hostiles aren't moving. But yeah, this build was going pretty well. You know, it was quite achievable to kill 2 targets with a single bullet. It just takes a little bit longer to build up those chain killer stacks or the perfect headhunter stacks. But it's crazy. You know, definitely overpowered, and I'm starting to think it's bugged. This talent is bugged as well. Whether or not this is how the devs decide or intended for it to be used in game is anyone's guess. I haven't seen any emergency patches yet or anything like that, so maybe it is. Interestingly enough, there's no expertise on these knee pads, and you know, I don't think you can recalibrate it either. So, you know, they're a one-time thing. Use them however you like, I guess. Whatever build that you find that works for you, then go for it. It's your game. You know, there's a lot of commentary about, you know, you should be using this build with it, or you shouldn't be doing this with it. It's your game. Play it the way ever you want to play it. But yeah, if you haven't had a chance to try them out yet, then maybe give them a go, slap them on a build, maybe strikers or something like that. Or I haven't tried strikers, but it seems like an obvious one to use. But there's plenty of variations out there. But if you have a build that you have found it to be useful with, then pop it in the comments, and I'd be interested to hear about it and try it myself. But that's all for now. I thank you for watching. Until next time, stay safe out there and take care.